YouTube. My name is Holden Carter. This is my story. I have schizophrenia, um, and this is going to be basically detailing my story, living with schizophrenia, surviving a drug psychosis, and yeah, so let's get into it. Um, I was born and I currently reside in Nashville, Tennessee. Um, I had a pretty normal childhood. No real complaints. I was always kind of a quiet kid, um, but I don't know. I felt like I was fairly normal. I had a pretty good group of friends. I always had a pretty good group of friends, and so that went pretty well. But guess I'll just skip ahead a little bit to my first diagnosis, and that was ADHD, which I was diagnosed with my 8th grade year, and that was really hard for me. Um, I've never really been a very strong academic student. Um, I've always struggled in school, except for maybe like history and English. I enjoy writing a lot, so I enjoy English class. But other than that, um, I was not a very good academic student. I never really had the report card that I was very happy with. But like I said, the first diagnosis I ever got was ADHD in 8th grade. And then, so I went on to high school. And my freshman year of high school went pretty well. Um, I made a lot of great friends. I did lose someone to suicide, and that was really hard for me. I was really angry. But I never really thought I was depressed myself. Um, I was just angry mostly. And then later on, I started my sophomore year, and that's when everything kind of started to change. I was being bullied and harassed, and I hated going to school. I hated it. I had really bad anxiety about school, so much so that I would be sick like every single day because I was so scared of going to school. So much so that I was asked to leave school. I was asked to leave my high school, which was really hard because all my friends went there, and I'd always pictured myself graduating from there. But I ended up being asked to leave. So I left that high school, went on to an alternative school, and that's when I really started struggling with depression. I was angry at myself, I was angry at the world. I tried talking to girls, but they just, I just really wasn't very good at it. Um, I, uh, that was probably the first time I tried to take my life was when a girl just didn't like me, which shouldn't be a reason to take your life at all. I mean, there's no reason to take your life, but what I was dealing with just was not that serious, but to me it was. So, fast forward, I went to another high school, which was, I've been to Catholic school my whole life. I'm not Catholic myself, but my parents are, so they've always sent me to Catholic school. So I went on to another Catholic school um, in Tennessee, uh, and everything went fairly well. At first, I again struggled with girls and depression. Cutting was a problem. Um, I was suicidal most every single day, and I just couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. I just thought maybe it was just really bad depression or something else. I just really didn't know. Maybe I was bipolar or something. Um, so by the way, I had to repeat sophomore year because my credits didn't transfer over. So that was really hard for me, and that made me really suicidal because I was so embarrassed. I was embarrassed to be my parents' son. I was embarrassed to be friends with people because, well, I thought I would be an embarrassment to them. So I graduated high school. Um, I went on to Western Kentucky University in Bowling Green, Kentucky. And that's kind of where all my troubles started. I was smoking weed pretty much every single day. The first day I got on campus, I was doing a lot of drugs, mostly weed, but I had also tried LSD and ecstasy. And ecstasy is what kind of was the first real sign that something was very wrong, or there was something more wrong. Um, I started hearing voices as soon as I took it, pretty much. Um, I thought people could hear my thoughts. I thought I could hear other people's thoughts. Uh, I had talked to my then girlfriend at the time and told her like something was very wrong. Um, and the voices kind of went away, or they would come and go. So I just tried my best to ignore them. But I would skip class all the time. My grades were awful. Um, so then, and I tried the ecstasy fairly early on in the school year, probably the first semester. So I tried acid, and I just had a really bad trip. I didn't really hear any voices. I guess maybe they were numbed out or something, but I just didn't have a really great trip. I probably did too much for my first time. Um, but I kept hearing voices. And finally, well, back to the ecstasy stuff. I really didn't know what was going on. I would cry myself to sleep in my dorm room because I was hearing things and other people couldn't hear them. I was having delusions. Um, so I tried acid again, and it was a fairly good trip. Um, I had a good time, but after I started having more delusions, and that included believing I was like a reincarnation of Jim Morrison. Actually, I believed my friends were also reincarnations of various musicians, including Jimi Hendrix, uh, John Bonham, and etc. Um, I just thought that was all true. I didn't really have any reason not to believe it was true. I think they didn't really know what to tell me. They didn't really know what to say. Um, I think they didn't want to hurt my feelings because, well, I mean, I thought all of it was true. I thought I could communicate with dead people because I was hearing voices, and I thought those voices were dead people trying to communicate with me, including Jim Morrison, Jimi Hendrix, and John Bonham. I was just very lost. I stopped going to classes. I started speaking in tongue. I thought I could speak like a different language, but it was just gibberish pretty much. Um, I um, the voices. I tried to appease the voices, and they were telling me certain things. But the last time I smoked weed at college, I heard voices that told me my friends were trying to kill me, and I was terrified, of course. I didn't know what to do. I sorry, the 10% battery thing just came on. I didn't know what to do. Um, I I was angry because I thought they were trying to kill me. I just went back to my dorm room and tried to avoid them the best I could. Um, I believed my friend killed himself because I heard voices. And when I asked my other friend about it, he said no, that wasn't true. And that made me very angry. So I started breaking my friend's things in his dorm room because I was angry and because the voices were telling me to do things like that. Um, I tried to kill myself after my friend left the dorm because he moved out because, of course, I had broken a bunch of his things. So I tried to kill myself by hanging. I decided against it basically at the last minute because I don't really know why I decided against it. I guess I just thought things were going to get better somehow. Um, and this was before I was ever diagnosed with schizophrenia or anything like that. I just had depression. Um, so the next day, I left my dorm room and basically walked all around campus shirtless with no shoes on and just pants on. I thought I was living in a dream. I thought maybe I died. I thought that I don't know really completely what I thought, but I definitely didn't think I was living in reality anymore. So I just had no shame. So I walked all around campus. I walked into a neighborhood and confronted two men who basically got really pissed off and started beating me up. And I got a black eye. I ran away to a pharmacy there on campus and started throwing stuff around. I was walking around with no shirt on, so of course they called the cops. The cops came. They thought I was on meth or something like that. Um, I thought maybe I was on something that I didn't know about. I thought maybe I was drugged by someone, but of course I wasn't. I was just probably a little bit high and experiencing delusions and hallucinations. So after that, I was gonna be arrested and taken to jail, but I threw up in the cop car. So they put me in an ambulance instead and took me to a hospital. And I thought the hospital was trying to kill me, and they put an IV in, of course. And I took the IV out because I was paranoid and thought they were trying to kill me with it because I thought I maybe did something really bad. Um, and then I, of course, stripped naked and started walking around my hospital room because the voices told me to do it. The voices told me to take the IV out. So after that, I was taken to a psychiatric hospital where I spent a week, and it was very scary. Most of the people there had been arrested, like me. I was experiencing a lot of delusions in the hospital. I believed I was Jesus for some reason. I don't even believe in God, but I thought I was Jesus. So I was convinced of it. I thought that demons were taking over my body. I just wasn't all there, obviously. So after that, after I got out of the hospital, I didn't really trust anyone, especially my parents. I thought they were trying to kill me. I was afraid of them. I thought my dad was a horrible person who had done horrible things because he was possessed or something. Um, I uh, I went home. I was diagnosed with schizophrenia. And I didn't really believe it at first, or maybe I did, but I just didn't know what to think, really. I just thought I was crazy, maybe. But my parents took care of me. But the medicine I was on made me gain a lot of weight, and it was not great for my self-confidence. I got up to about 220 pounds. I've always been a really skinny kid, like really skinny, so it was really hard for me. Um, I I was very upset. I was angry. I wanted to die. Um, but I lost some of the weight. I'm down to about like 180 now. Uh, but I really do believe I've come a long way. Um, I smoked pot about a year ago, and it did not go well for me. I was hearing voices really loudly. I thought people were trying to kill me. I thought everyone that I was friends with was gonna come and kill me, because they were mad at me. I I didn't try to kill myself. I haven't tried to kill myself in a really long time. I just have really bad thoughts sometimes, like thoughts about hurting myself, but I haven't actually done it. Um, I I still hear voices from time to time. I still have hallucinations and delusions. I uh, I sometimes I believe that I can talk to dead people, which I try to convince myself isn't true, but of course it's a delusion or a hallucination, so it's always like maybe it's true, maybe it's not true. Um, I haven't done any drugs since college besides smoking weed the one time about a year ago. I smoke cigarettes, which I know aren't great, but they a lot of people with schizophrenia smoke cigarettes, um, because it kind of helps uh, with your like brain coordination, I guess. So I like to write a lot, so I'll smoke a cigarette and then I'll write a song or something. But other than that, I've pretty much avoided any type of drug use. And this isn't like a PSA on why you shouldn't do drugs, because honestly, I really don't care if you do drugs. Like, I think certain people, it's okay, and certain people can live with it, but I'm just not one of those people anymore. Um, Sometimes I wish I was. A lot of times I wish I was because I miss it. Um, but I know I can't do it anymore. Um, so this is Mental Health Awareness Month. I just wanted to share my story, share kind of what I've dealt with, and what I'm still dealing with. Um, I wanted to bring some sort of awareness to it because I know I'm not alone. I know my parents are there for me. I know I have a lot of friends there for me. I posted something on my Instagram saying how I had schizophrenia, and a lot of people reach out to me. Um, I when I first got out of the hospital, no one talked to me. I was pretty much left alone. A lot of people I really, really cared about just ignored me or just would not talk to me. So that was really, really hard for me, and I was very depressed for a very long time, but I guess I guess it's whatever now. Um, but yeah, this was my story, surviving a drug psychosis. Thank you for watching.